Chris, thanks for joining the show. Let's first talk about MP Mike Dawson, just an all-around good dude, former construction worker, rejecting his pay hike and then getting a lot of flack for it from some interesting places.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. So for folks who don't know, Member of Parliament Mike Dawson, he's a brand new MP. He's from Miramichi, Grand Lake in New Brunswick. As he puts it, he's just a drywaller from New Brunswick. I will point out, my brother's a drywaller.
Yep.
All my brothers are tradesmen. We don't use the term just. He was doing that because he's super humble. So backbench members of Parliament are already paid more than $200,000 per year. That's salary. On top of that, they get a ton of their expenses covered, okay? Like food and transportation and housing and all that jazz. And again, this is a backbench, bare minimum. Like you show up with 2 feet and a heartbeat, you're an MP. Yeah. So you don't have any committee responsibilities, no critic roles, nothing. What's frustrating is that Mike is the only one who has said, you know what? No, I'm not taking a pay raise. It's wrong, especially when men and women who are working in my riding are really hurting. Okay. They can barely afford groceries, and anybody that goes to the store can see that right now. I'm not doing it. And so he wrote an official letter on letterhead from his office to the clerk of the House of Commons and said, don't give me this pay raise. And now a bunch of people are being willfully ignorant in the House of Commons and saying, oh, well, you can't do that. It's impossible to stop a pay raise, which is stupid. Of course they can stop a pay raise. They're legislators. They literally write law. They can, declare the House of Commons to be a circus tent if they want to. Okay. They often act like it is. So
Right.
they can do this. And as Mike put it, when we talked to him, he said, man, you can put a man on the moon. Like, let's not reinvent the wheel here. I'm sure you can say no pay raises. So we put out a poll, and we were so proud to see the numbers. As the kids say, this is an 80-20 issue.
Yeah.
About 80% of Canadians agree with Mike Dawson and oppose Member of Parliament pay increases. Why he's the only one, that is a mystery for X-Files. I don't get it.
I do get it because I think a lot of people get into politics for the money and the power. And as we've seen with Matt Genero in Edmonton Riverbend, it doesn't matter what party you are with sometimes. And, it's self-preservation. It's lining one's own pockets, and they forget about the people who sent them there. But I'm happy to see that Mike Dawson didn't. And I'm happy to see the amount of people who emailed them, took time out of their own day and wrote a sincere email, not form letter, sincere email to him to thank him. I think it was 10,000.
Yeah. I might choke up because I'm such a nerd, but I'm so proud for doing this. So the Taxpayers Federation, we did put out, a hey, everybody thank Mike Dawson. But for those folks who are watching who do get our emails, you notice we don't do forms. It's not click this form to automatically send, because that gets filtered out and the people on the Hill don't see it. No, this is, and it wasn't just Taxpayers Federation. There were people who've never heard of us before who saw Mike Dawson's story somehow on either, independent, real journalism or, mainstream media. However they found out, more than 10,000 people sent an original email to that guy saying, good job, buddy. Thank you so much. And it must be overwhelming, because I know a lot of people with our inbox, they won't just say good job. They'll say why. They'll say like how they can't afford something, or how their wife just got sick, or so. I just want to give a shout out to Mike, because I know sometimes reading thousands and thousands like that can start to weigh on you. Keep your chin up, man. We're super proud of you. I will point out it's Wednesday, and for Nerds on the Hill, that's a caucus day. And that's where all the parties get together within their own groups behind closed doors. And you're supposed to not talk about what happens in caucus every Wednesday morning on the Hill. And so I'm really, really hoping that he's not getting any grief from any Conservative MPs they better not try to pull this crap again, Sheila, because when I heard about that, ironically, through the CBC, that he was getting the gears, tax fighters were super mad about that.
Yeah.
So we need to see some leadership here, frankly, in the House of Commons. Everybody should be standing with Mike Dawson. I will just put on my political strategist hat real quick, if you don't mind indulging me.
Please.
Imagine if Prime Minister Mark Carney is the one that comes out and says, you know what? People are hurting right now, and I am going to freeze the pay increases. Talk about getting outflanked, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could happen. I would if I were Carney.
Yeah. He's rich enough. Exactly. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't burn him. He's got tons of money, and prime ministers are paid like $400,000 per year, plus a fancy place to live, et cetera, et cetera. What are they going to do? What's his cabinet going to do? Revolt? Leave? He was their meal ticket during the last election. They're not going anywhere. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's Mark Carney that steps forward. You know, it would be a shrewd political move.
Yeah, he pulled the same stunt with the carbon tax.
Sure did. Yeah, sure did. So we'll see. We'll see. Sorry for being so frustrated. No, it's just that. How do I put this? I feel like there used to be more Mike Dawsons.
Yes.
Like who were MPs, you know, like back in the early reform days and stuff. And to be fair, even some of the folks who used to work within the NDP, like I remember Bill Blakey being a Boilermaker, like talking about the working man and woman all the time. Jack Layton, the late Jack Layton, even he, folks might forget, he opposed the carbon tax. Yeah. All the time. We used to book him on CTV all the time. And he hated the carbon tax. Why? Because it punished people for heating their homes in winter and driving to work. And he thought that it was especially cruel to poor people.
It is.
Where are those MPs? Where are those NDP folks who are supposed to be supporting the working man? Like, seriously. Sorry, I'm getting ticked off.
I know. And just a message to the Conservative MPs who gave Mike Dawson a hard time. We know who you are. Or at least I'm pretty sure I know who you are. Just so you know. Mm-hmm. Just putting you on notice. Pretty sure I know who you are. And okay. You wouldn't want yourself subjected to extra scrutiny, would you?
Sure wouldn't.
Sure wouldn't.
Because entitlement, if you're entitled to your entitlements, that's kryptonite in politics, man. Yep. Still is. People do not like seeing their dollars being wasted, and they despise entitlement. Yep. So folks are going to be getting a really hard look.
Yeah, they sure are. Especially in this time of, you know, outrageous, out of control food inflation, 6% food inflation. People are having a tough time just getting by, just putting food in their kids' bellies and, you know, being crushed by taxes. And then the people who stand up in the House of Commons and make speeches on your behalf about food inflation are taking a pay raise. That stings, man.
Can I tell you, like, God's truth story that happened last night? Sure. So I was at a grocery store because I have to head out to Edmonton after we're finished chatting. So, you know, I have to make sure my fridge has got food in it for my people.
All the time.
Because mom's going to be away. And so there was a lady that was behind me, and I could tell she did not want to talk. You know what I mean? Where don't talk to her or offer her stuff. I could just, you can sense it. Anyway, I'm bagging my stuff. And she comes in behind me. And again, I don't know her circumstances. And I don't know why this is what she was buying, but this is what I saw. She was buying a huge bag of no-name brand potatoes, a couple of trays of liver, which were reduced and on sale, and a bottle of ketchup. She was digging around in her purse to get I forget how much it was costing, like $20 that she needed to buy cell phone minutes for her phone. Okay. So like the cheapest possible way she could do. And it was hard listening to her because the checkout guy, nice kid, brand new, they automatically ask if you want to round up to feed kids or whatever it is, like round up for the food bank, etc. And she said, I'm fighting to feed myself right now.
Yeah.
But I saw this last night, and I kind of looked at her and she looked at me like, don't. I'm like, because I was going to say,
Yeah.
like, do you want my extra bag of pepperoni? Like something, but you could
Yeah.
just get the feeling off of her, right? Where you could tell she was working. She had some sort of like paint work pants on.
Yeah.
Super proud.
Yeah.
And it was fighting tooth and nail to
Yeah.
afford stuff. And this is in Alberta.
Right.
I can't imagine someone in downtown Toronto or a single mom or somebody, God love them, in Vancouver or anywhere in
Yeah.
BC anyway, all this is to say, shame on those members of parliament
Right.
for wanting those pay hikes. How dare you?
How dare you? Yeah. How dare you take the pay hike from that lady struggling to feed herself from her taxes? How dare you?
Mhm.
Poor lady, just trying to hang on to her dignity in this horrible country.
I just,
right
anyway,
now.
my skin's crawling, and I didn't know I was going to share this story, but the way you put it, I couldn't not tell her story.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. She's the people these conservatives are supposed to be fighting for, not themselves and their own pocketbooks.
Yep. Skip your pay hike, guys.
Yeah.
Show some leadership.
Yeah.